Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Tech
Well,
Shamans.
welcome to the Tech Shamans
We're
as we
like,
just wish everything would just be left alone.
yeah. Okay, so I'm sitting here going, what the hell's wrong with my watch?
Oh my
Because
gosh.
normally you could go up like this and see your
Yeah,
admin stuff, right? So
right.
like yesterday, I
You have to hit the side button. The side button is now admin stuff.
no
What'd you just hit?
side button.
Not that one.
What?
The one below it.
Right one. Oh,
Oh my God.
I learned something today. Grr, grr, grr. I can go home, go to bed now. Yeah.
See, we always willing to learn something new.
Yeah. Sorry, we've been off for 2 weeks. I had to go to a funeral in Missouri,
Yeah.
and it kind of messed up everything. So, I mean, I'm glad I went because he's that uncle. That was that uncle literally was like a second father in a way.
The uncle of all uncles.
Uncle of all uncles, absolutely. Because of that man, because of him, I actually was able to get a running scholarship because he trained me every summer. I trained with that man,
Yeah.
running sprinter. Yeah. I mean, he pushed me whole 9 yards. Anyway, I don't want to get into that because it'll be a sad sack show. I don't want that to happen. But I got to see some people, dude. I got to see people I haven't seen 40 years.
Dang.
40 years, and not one of them looked.
And
any
and,
different.
and the funny thing is, you go back and you're like, it's almost like it hasn't been that long. I mean, when
Right?
you consider 40 years, I mean, I met up with somebody I haven't seen in like 20 years.
Right.
Like 20 years, It's
Yeah.
like,
And it was awesome. So now I understand why my brain has been craving the mountains.
yeah.
I do. So growing up as a kid, we went there every summer up until I was like 17 years old.
Hmm.
Every summer
Yeah.
we spent in Missouri, and we where my family is from is primarily this little bitty town called Annapolis, right?
Mhm.
Now, as a kid, we were there, and man, we didn't see what was around us. We saw what was in front of us, right? So we always went camping for, like the whole family showed up. I'm big family. We would camp at this place called Black River, and we would have a spot, and we would be there for like a month, and all the aunts and uncles would roll in and out, different people at different times. And it was really kind of cool, right? So, but 3 months out of our 2 and a half months out of the summer, unless we were playing baseball or unless I was in the band, was spent in Missouri. So, yeah, it was like super family thing. Um, but anyway, I digress. But it's in the mountains, and I never
Yeah.
realized it was and it's in the Ozarks.
Mm.
So it's
Yeah,
part of the Ozarks.
I love it. I love it up there. My sister's lives between Georgia and on the Georgia Tennessee border.
Well,
So
yeah, north or east or west.
yeah, she's close to uh oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know where Oh My Gosh is, but I'm gonna go
I
find
d-
this place because it
she
sounds like it's
she's
cool to me.
she works she lives in Tennessee but works in Georgia. Wait, she works in Tennessee now, but she was at one point
Right.
crossing over the border.
So
She's
near
like right.
Chattanooga?
Yeah, she's near Chattanooga
Oh,
area.
okay. So she's up by us.
Yeah.
So we bought a house in Somerville, up in north. That's northwest. Everybody, the minute you go, oh yeah, I'm up in the mountains in Georgia, everybody automatically assumes that you have gone to Blue Ridge.
yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm like, no, there's a whole mountain range that goes all the way across
The
the top of that.
Appalachian mountain
So I'm in
chain comes
Appalachians,
all
right?
right there.
So I got there and I started taking pictures, and I said to my wife, I said, now I know why I love the mountains so much, because my whole life was spent in the mountains until I went back to school, and depending on where we lived at that time, and in my life, it's because we moved around a lot. But yeah, so yeah, mountains have been calling me. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into it because we have some really kind of good stuff. Hey, how have you been doing?
I'm doing great.
Yeah?
How you been doing?
Well,
I'm just getting ready to.
trying to get rid of crap because
No, I'm getting ready to leave again.
where are you going now?
Well, going on another cruise.
You going to be here next Monday?
Next Monday, yes. I won't be gone. I won't leave until The 30th, I won't be here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so how's
That's
that? I'll
good.
just yeah,
That's
I'll
good.
just say I'm here. I'm gonna be leaving out on the 29th. Be my first Halloween cruise.
Oh, actually, I cannot beat you up so much because we're doing one. Um, uh, we are going to we're November
Yeah.
going on a cruise. So, okay, so this is not just so I'm glad you put this in here
Oh yeah,
because
yeah,
Apple acknowledges it complaints that the iPhone 15 Pros are 15 and 15 Pro phones are overheating. They're trying to blame Instagram.
yeah. They did, which was funny. Right off the bat when this advertisement came out, when this came out, it's like, oh yeah, there's a bug causing the iPhone 15 to overheat, and it was supposed to be inside of the Instagram app. And they're like, going in and people are just seeing the amount of time that the app was running and stuff like that. So they're just
Right.
kind of saying, but the funny thing is Apple was able to push an iOS update about 2 days later, and it fixed the problem.
So it
Not
was
only did it fix the problem, I've also noticed a major change in my battery status on my 14 Pro Max.
really
Yeah, I've noticed that my phone doesn't get like randomly hot out of the blue, and I don't use Instagram. I mean, I have it on there; runs in the background
hmm
periodically, but I've never opened it to keep it running in the background. Just it gives me notifications.
right.
But my phone would just run randomly hot for no reason whatsoever. And since this update, I've noticed my battery life has lasted a lot longer on my phone.
Well, it's okay. So you put that in there, but it's not just Apple
No,
by no means. It is actually um, Androids were doing it. Well, Androids, all the Android lines were doing it too.
yeah, but
They
the
were
thing,
all
well,
overheating.
the thing is what was Instagram calling for on the phones that was able to be fixed with an internal software update was think about it, it's the operating system, okay? Did we just sit there and cut off the app from getting certain information,
Right.
you know? Like the do
So
not track and
it was
feature.
constantly talking
It
to
was either
mothership.
constantly talking, something was going on. There must have been a port open. There must have been something open that allowed that app to just force either the CPU or GPU to just kind of go into overdrive. And was it an addressing issue? Was it, some kind of memory leak that was causing the issue?
Mhm.
And it was being, you know, found out just kind of randomly showed up because of the app.
Right.
And then, that's how they found out about it, and so it's
Well,
kinda weird.
and iPhones are really tough about being a closed system.
Yeah, yeah.
So the more crap that's hitting it in the background, the more it's working and trying to stop that.
Mhm.
So maybe that could have been, but I once you read that, I was going to put another story in today's, but we're loaded. I was going to put another story in there because now all the Android lines have
Mhm.
been overheating, including the tablets.
Yeah, yeah.
Tablets more than the phones, especially if they had cellular service.
I seen some of the, thermals they showed, before and after
hmm
the update, and the phone was getting to about 104,
Yeah, it was
107.
hot. Yeah.
Yeah, and in one particular area, it was getting real, real hot. But there was a major change after the update. Again, the Apple or there must have been an underlying iOS bug that was allowing the app to do something that it was never meant to be doing.
Right.
So I think it's a combination between both the app builders and also the programmers for the software itself, the underlying excuse me, the
Right.
underlying operating system.
So
So,
when did Meta team up with glass makers to do smart glasses?
I did not even know they were doing that.
I mean, this when you put that in, I'm like, so I'm thinking to myself,
Well, it's
wait a minute,
it's
they're getting into making glass. Are they going back to the Google Glass type of thing, or is this?
no, I think what it is
But it's
the
actually
more
for
this ad is more that in order for these things to even virtual reality,
yeah,
smart glasses, things like that, I think that And it's kind of right. In order for these things to go mainstream, even AR, for instance, especially with Apple's, new Vision Pro,
Mhm.
in order for these things to really go mainstream, they have to get it down to where it's like the Google Glass,
Mhm.
even though that was our first kind of, movement in that realm, it has to get down to this kind of a level. Even if you have an iPhone and you wear a pair of glasses that kind of get the processing power from the phone, but we have a high, you know, Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 7 coming out,
Yep.
these kind of technologies, and even these new Bluetooth technologies where you can get a lot of bandwidth transaction happening between the glasses and the phone itself, where you can then have all the processing power on the phone. We have to get the glasses part though.
Yeah.
They have to get to a level where they're small enough and stylish for people to even want to start.
Okay, but the whole thing about wearing the your like, okay, it's like you have the what do we have? What do we have at home, Cage? We have
The Quest.
the Quest, right? The reason I like it is because it's closed. I have no
Yes.
light bleed.
Right.
Glasses like this, and I think this is the ones that if Cage will show that picture to me. I mean, I don't think this is what they are, but maybe they are. But to me, there's way too much bleed on that.
Yeah, I mean,
I
this
don't
is
want that's going to
this
take
is gonna be
away.
well, this is gonna be more of an AR situation where augmented reality where you overlay the
Oh,
your
so you get to walk and watch the little dinosaurs roll in, like
well, okay, so say
in
for
the beginning,
instance,
because that was the thing with the phones. You could do the
right.
picture, and it would be
Or you're walking down a street and you have an overlaid map that's overlaying the visual world, which say for instance you're walking down the street and there's arrows on the sidewalk pointing you in the direction of the
oh yeah,
storefront
yeah,
that you're
yeah.
trying to
Okay,
get to.
okay, okay.
That would be more this
This
situation.
is not an immersive thing. This is a just going to help you get along with some technical information stuff.
Right. And then
Okay.
the big thing was or notifications,
Yeah,
text messages coming so you don't have to take your eyes off of what you're doing.
dude. I don't care what you do. The minute you start looking at a text or
Yes, you're still
you're
gonna take
completely one hundred
yes, you're
percent. You're
you're still
not
gonna
paying
take your
attention.
eyes.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is too, Apple just said that the Vision Pros are teaming up with lens makers to create
Really.
your prescription into the Vision Pro. So if
Well,
you
I'm glad
have
you went there because that's the next story. Is
yeah,
Meta's plans to beat Apple's Vision Pro included cheaper headsets and no controllers.
exactly. So, but Apple's going to say, "Hey, look, you have glasses. Instead of sticking your glasses on and trying to put these extra
That is a
divider,
pain in the
it is a
butt,
pain,
and it
and
hurts.
if you get it just right, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
But sometimes, yes, it does hurt, like it's hitting the
Yep.
nose bridge of your nose. So, um, Apple's kind of trying to say, "Hey, look, we're going to integrate your prescription into the Vision Pro, and then ship it to you already done. So then you
Oh,
don't have."
so they're gonna know you gotta send them what your prescriptions
What's in there?
are.
There's lenses in there, right?
Lenses,
Pop your
yeah.
prescription and burn them into the lenses, so it would just be like you putting on a pair of glasses. You put on a Vision Pro, now you have your glasses basically on your
Are
face.
those gonna be interchangeable for the rest of the folks in the
You know what?
house?
Imagine this. Wow. Eh, John, Apple's a hardware company. They want every single person in the house to have their own Vision Pro at $1,500.
Yeah, right.
Just like they have to have their own $1,500 iPhone. Come on.
A family of 4 does not have $6,000 to go out and buy,
Hey, hey.
you know?
So, it's funny, Meta's, yeah, they are talking about the plans to beat Apple's Vision Pro with cheaper headsets and no controllers.
Well, you have to have the controllers.
Not necessarily because Apple's Vision Pro doesn't have any controllers. They didn't show you controllers in the
No, it didn't. Yeah,
no,
you're
it
right.
used your hands.
Yeah.
And Meta's already been testing that for a long time.
Okay.
That's been a beta and a back and forth and now you can do different controls.
Right.
But again, when they say cheaper headsets, I think when Apple does finally get the nasty looking design figured out, because I'm telling you right now, it doesn't look right. It looks
does
like ski
not.
mask.
Yep.
If you're up north, you're probably pretty good. You're probably like, oh look, I could use this during the winter. Nobody would ever know.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
But down, yeah, I think that once they come into a design and they are able to shrink the technology down, Apple's known for their visual fidelity, their crisp lenses, their screens being really good. So if Meta goes on and starts lessening the it's you don't just make it cheaper and say you're gonna beat somebody.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I I think
Cheaper with quality, yeah.
yeah, if you can do high quality and cheaper, that'd be a different story. If you can use the proper lenses, if you can use the proper displays,
Right.
and you do have a higher end processor, then I could understand it. But don't just say, we're going to make a cheaper headset to
Mm.
compete because Meta already made a $1,500 headset
Yep.
Pro. Okay. And if they didn't think their product was good enough, if they think their product's not good enough, they wouldn't be scared, So they're scared of Apple's hardware ability. And Apple,
Absolutely.
I will tell you, Meta probably has a lockdown on the software only based on, bringing people together. Okay. That whole the work life stuff, Apple Meta can probably get out of that because I don't think that anybody's really gonna go that route. They're gonna be the game side.
Mhm.
Apple's always had a problem kind of getting into the gaming marketplace. They've
Yep.
tried, like Apple Arcade a couple years ago. They started a big push and then it kind of pushed it aside and kind of realized
They
it's
push it away.
yeah, they still have it there because it's a streaming service that they
Right.
could get money for, but again, it's not their main push.
Right.
So, productivity, I could see Apple going that route, being able to bring your Mac into the virtual world. Just imagine your Mac from anywhere and you want to physically see it. You can see it right there. I mean, there's
But
there's a
then
lot of
couldn't everybody else see it?
no, not unless they're going to use Iris ID, not Face ID, Iris ID.
Iris ID.
You please allow us to scan your iris so we can log you
Yeah,
in.
exactly. That's what we're
So
doing.
yeah, it's going to be different, but I don't think Meta has the. I just hope they're not going to make it cheaper, like a lesser version than
Yep.
even the
Yep.
wait. We already have the less version of the Meta
Yep.
Quest. We have the Meta Quest. That's that's still good for what it is
Yeah.
today, and even with its technology, but um the only way to beat them is you're gonna have to have higher powered cameras.
Yep.
You're gonna have to which means that you're gonna have to be able to see inside out. That's a big thing. Being able to see and walk around in the real world in AR, the current Quest only has the regular Quest, not the Pro, has the capability of doing it, but in AR, the cameras can only see black and white,
Right.
which I'm very disappointed because how do you put just black and white cameras on a you got 6 cameras. How much did it really save you, to build this out with just black and white cameras? I mean, come on, monochrome. I mean, that's
Well, okay, so but I can see the backside of that. See, coming from the video world,
right.
black and white for me is sometimes better than a color monitor because
Mm,
I can see heavy contrast. And I think that's what the AR and that's what AR needs. AR doesn't care what the colors are. They need to see the contrast colors and the depth of colors. So, but we can go in, and so when you look at a black and white monitor versus a color monitor,
mhm.
I can go set my color monitor better with a black and white because now I can
Yeah.
go in there and fine tune my grays and my black. And we've done this. I've done that. I've taught this. So you can go in and you want a monochrome or black and white. So I can go in there and I can literally get into the heavy detail because I can see true depth.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
on a color monitor, you cannot because color monitors are a hybrid of a. It's weird. I can get down the. I'm going to bore everybody to death, but a good like a scope. Like if I'm using a scope, I have no idea what my colors
So
are.
it's easier for the software to see 3D
Yes,
in a monochrome type
absolutely.
setting.
Yes, that's why. See,
So
yeah.
that would make sense. Yeah.
I have guys that do so on the weekends. Everybody knows I'm with the Rowdies, right? So I'm their head engineer. But my color guy, we call him the painter. He literally would rather look at scopes than the image
Mm,
because if you look at the scopes, you can detail what's too bright, what's too dark, what's not right. Why am I've got blues and greens starting to mix and they shouldn't? I mean, they can tear it down without looking at the color.
wow.
And it's amazing that these guys can do this. And then they look at the color and your color's like spot on. You're like, That is amazing.
Yeah.
But it takes that. But so
Yeah.
that's why the VR side prefers the black and white, because you can get the
Well,
details and the
then we should have
contrast.
just put one color camera on there if they're going to show the inside out part. And they could have still mapped it with the rest, because I mean, it's
They
not like
could have.
they didn't have 6 of them on there
No.
already. So
Right, exactly. So, but that's why. Ooh, I got to be smart today. So I have been railing against 23andMe and what's
all
the
of
other
them,
ones? All of them, right? So
is it Ancestry?
Ancestry. So they all got bought by the government. The government owns everything now.
Of
So
course.
guess what? The government owns your freaking DNA.
Yeah, and so does
They
everybody
own it,
else.
because if you go and read, I went and literally read the terms of services.
Mm-hmm.
When you give them your DNA to test, you now give them rights to your DNA.
Yeah, they have rights to your genome.
So now the
Once you're
government has
sequenced.
that crap, right? Well, here's the bad thing is they got hacked. 23andMe got hacked,
Right.
and your shit is all over.
You know,
the
that's
dark
funny.
web.
That's funny. You know, now they have your birthday, whatever information that they collected off of you to begin with.
Yep.
But now they have so much more. The
Yep.
sensitive information all the way down to your DNA.
Yep,
You know, can they grow your eyes and get your
they can,
they're just going to grow your eyes and get your specific retina? I
because
don't
you know they didn't dispose of your DNA when it was done.
Oh no, because it's valuable. It's valuable.
And now
It's
they, and now they can
invaluable.
go in
I
and
mean,
go,
it's
well, this guy, we liked Adam, but we want to take this part of Adam out and put this part of Adam
right,
in.
exactly.
And so now you're going to get a variant,
The variant, the hybrid.
the hybrid of Adam. See, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I tell you. And now that your stuff is all over the dark web,
Oh, forget about it.
millions of people were hacked through 23andMe. So now
Yeah.
your information's out there for sale.
Yeah, I've always said I
It's
didn't like
nuts.
I didn't like the whole it's been that way from the beginning. You know, they always said that once you submitted your DNA, that they then in the terms and agreement that they now own that data sequence,
Mhm.
which they didn't create it.
Mm-mm.
They just
7 million people.
yeah. They did not create it. My mom and dad did.
Yeah.
You know, so and it belongs to me.
That's like the whole writer strike and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
keep-
And you
know-
know, people are not understanding the ramifications of like the digital world and AI. And you know, look how somebody, say for instance, what would an actor, for instance, okay? People have certain things that they would do and they're not do. Okay. I am not gonna promote, saying that I'm an actor and I will never promote this particular insurance product.
Right.
Okay. I've used them. I have feel bad about that. I don't like I have my reservations about you know endorsing this product. And even if they offered me $10 million to do a commercial, I would never do it. Okay. They have their set beliefs and what they want. What stops somebody from just going ahead and using AI to create, you know, William Shatner's face on a body and regenerating him, giving him, you know, gleaming endorsement of their product that
Yep.
he would never touch in a million years. And they don't get compensation.
Especially after death.
Yeah.
Because once someone dies, how much stuff can you do? I mean, if so, here's the only way that I would like to see AI used is so Ahsoka,
Mhm.
the series. Well, Ray Stevenson died, right? And to move that show forward, he played a major role, whether they liked it or not. He played a major role in this. Well, now they can't move forward without changing the actor because he passed away. So
Right.
now, as long as his family benefited
Right.
from the AI,
Exactly.
they could recreate him and let that show
Let the
move
show finish
forward,
because
right.
like say for instance you're in a contract right now, you're filming, you're in a contract, and in the contract they state, okay, if you pass away during production, we have the authority to recreate your image and your voice in AI to finish production of this show and your estate or whatever will still get paid the same
Right.
amount of money that, you would have been
Well,
paid.
that's what happened with Fast and the Furious with Paul.
Mhm.
'Cause
Yeah, yeah.
his family was able to be paid, and his brother stepped in as him, and then they
So that
overlaid
it
the
automatically makes
graphics.
sense that when, just like in, music world, okay? Pay royalties, you
Yep.
play my song, you pay me 25 cents, okay?
Yep.
You use my likeness, you pay me X amount of dollar.
Right.
So there seems to be that, actors who would want to be able to
Yep.
be that, create a giant, licensing group and they submit their likeness,
Yep.
and they say, okay, if you want to use my likeness, if my likeness is found on the internet using AI, you will be automatically tagged and charged X amount of
Right.
dollars or be fined.
Yep.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, especially people that take so many their whole lifetime before they finally make it big. And
So in our world, when we do there's two rule of thumb or there's two worlds in the video production, especially when you're using people for voiceovers.
Mhm.
Used to be we would pay someone a flat fee for a voiceover and then we could just use it as long
Right.
as we wanted to use it. Now, and we could use it anywhere. So now they're like, well, no, if you use my voice and it goes overseas, you got to pay me for those over there. I I don't do that. I won't do that. So when I pay you, if I pay you $5,000 to come into a voiceover, which I'd never pay for anyway, but but on the stuff that what we do,
Yeah, yeah.
you're just gonna do the voiceover, right? And I pay you for so wherever I use it, I use it. But if you come in and go, well, no, because if you use it overseas, I get this much. If you go to broadcasting,
Right.
I'm like, nope. So
No,
now,
that would be because you read a specific script, and that script can be continued to be used wherever you want to
that's
use it.
correct.
Now,
So now AI,
yes,
I don't need you anymore.
that is a big problem. That right
And
there
I
is
don't
the
and so and the thing of it is with AI, and this is not nothing
will
new with
change
AI,
the pitch.
I can change no, I don't even need anybody.
Yeah,
I can type my script in. I can tell it the inflection where I want the inflection. I can tell if I want it happy, sad, moving, corporate, blah, blah, blah. This is the kind of voice I want. And they create the voice. I no longer need voiceover talent.
correct.
Or here's even better. There's another software out there. I can actually I can read the script flat, or I can read it like I want it to read. And then they go in there and go, okay. And then they can match the inflections that I wanted it read,
Hmm.
and I get a voice that I can use forever and ever and ever, no matter where. I could
Yeah,
send it to Mars and I could run a commercial. So, in a way, some of these guys have worked themselves out of a job,
yeah,
right? I understand what they're doing. I get it. And but here's the thing, get paid more up front. Don't get paid. No,
yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just that's just the way it is. So, so some of these people have really pushed themselves out of a job. And I said this the other day on my chamber TV. If you're worried about AI, work harder than AI and work better than AI. Be better than AI, and you'll never have to worry about being replaced ever.
Right, exactly.
Right? Yeah. This whole day people want to get paid for a 40-hour work week, but they only want to work 30 hours.
Hmm.
No, you want to get paid for 40-hour work week, work 40 hours.
Right.
You want to go a little bit
Or,
further than
or
everybody
figure out a
else,
way to make it seem like you worked 40 hours, but automate the whole back end if you have to. I
work
mean, as much.
smarter than AI. I'm just telling you. I'm not trying to be mean, and I know that in this world right here, eventually we're gonna get we everybody will be completely replaced by AI.
Yeah.
I know it's coming. So this is an industry that is dying.
Well, you know what?
It's a slow death, but
I
it's
think
gonna die.
people's having people's opinions that will never go away. I mean, you can only
I
have
got lots of
yeah,
opinions.
but does AI have opinion? Can we
No,
get AI to have an
AI can't
opinion?
do an opinion. It can only do what it's been taught.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. So,
So
there's ways around it, it's just
right.
but then again, if we wanted to do this production with me having a giraffe head and John having a
We
shark
could
head,
do that.
we could do that. It would be
Actually,
kind of
we're
cool.
I've got to find. I had a friend that was working on the uh, roaster and beaner,
Mm,
my coffee beans for the new studio in
yeah.
Georgia, and he had a stroke. So he's not working on it anymore. So I got to find someone that can
Ugh.
take that project back over. But anyway, so Intel, I didn't know this was coming. Intel teases window refresh for 2024 amid the Windows 12 launch. I didn't know we were getting a Windows 12 now. I thought they were stopping at 10 or 11.
You know, this is funny because this is ridiculous. They're saying that consumers may want to buy new PCs. See, and this is the whole reason why they limited like Windows 11 to like 8th generation and newer processors, because they're going to say that people will more likely want to buy a new computer based on the next version itinerary or whatever you want to call it of, iteration of
FOMO. You're
FOMO.
missing out, baby. That's all it is.
Yeah, but Windows unfortunately does not have all the pizzazz, and it's who cares? It
Right.
really, you get down to the point of it, they're worried about the specs of the computer, not the operating system. Microsoft needs to just stop and stay in its lane.
Right.
It was made to be a software, it was an operating system.
Right.
Okay? They operate on the computers, and they should be and always would want to be everywhere like they used to.
Yep.
And that was a great play for them, because as long as the operating system worked on all these computers, then they would be installed. Some people don't have the money to go buy new hardware, but yes, they do want the latest operating system,
Yep.
but not enough to warrant spending.
Having to go buy another.
Not spending
$1,200
$600 or
yeah.
more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
So now it's turned into phone. As a great wise man said last night, as I watched The Simpsons for the umpteenth million time, everybody has FOMO WOMO. Fear of missing out.
yeah. And
FOMO,
this
WOMO.
and Apple's got it. I mean, Microsoft's got it wrong about them. They got to understand that first off, they're not Apple. Okay, they are not Apple. Apple's a hardware company. They're specific to being hardware.
Right.
Microsoft is a software company that creates software, and they have OEM partners who create computers based on what they kind of say, and they
Right.
work hand in hand. And Microsoft does make some products. That's understandable.
Mhm.
Do that on the back end. Go ahead and make your products. This computer, this new Microsoft Surface will only runs on Windows 12. Something like that. But don't start limiting, thinking that you have so much pull in the PC market. It's just not going to work. You can try to limit and shut down computers as much as possible, but it's not going to work. People are just going to at the end of the day, we can install whatever the hell we want.
Right.
And all you're doing is giving more reason for people to push to another operating.
Yep.
Apple's a closed loop. They're hardware
Yep.
first, software second.
Yep.
And they are tied together. You can't go install Linux on your iPhone. You can't go, Android on your iPhone now.
Nope.
Okay? You can't. You're tied. But PC manufacturers want to sell a PC, and they offer multiple versions of operating
Yeah.
systems. And when it gets down to it, consumers, once these free operating systems that are out there get good enough, they get enough traction on the back end, people will move to them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
all you have to do is piss off the right people. So, and there's rumors running around in the IT world that here it is again that we're talking about it, but Microsoft's going to push 12 to a subscription base, which means that in order to use Windows 12, that you would have to subscribe to Windows 12. So,
Well, you already do that with 11.
Well,
you still got to have a Microsoft account.
Yes
I
and
know.
no.
I know. We know that.
We can create a local account still, but again, same situation. Them trying to force the hand of you need to create a Microsoft account if you want to use our services. And then we're only going to give you 5 gigs of storage.
Welcome to Mac.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, Apple does the same thing at a lot better pricing points, but you know.
Yeah, but it's not as expensive, and it's constant. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
so
So here it is. Be on the lookout. Maybe next sometime next year. Windows 12 coming out. Hopefully, we don't go to a subscription base. I don't
12's
think that's going to
coming.
be. I don't think in their right mind that would make any sense for them.
I don't
And
either.
remember, today everybody thinks it's a good idea. These subscriptions is it's not that much. I'm telling you, at the end of the day, once we as consumers allow the subscription models to continue this
Mhm.
way, and we've moved away from the standard product or owning product that we
Right.
want to buy, they have full control over your data. Number one. Number two, the price point. They can raise the price whenever
Yep.
they want, and that price that you paid for 9 times out of 10 is only good for 12 months if you paid for the 12-month license.
Right.
And if you only pay month to month, your price can go up at any given
Yep.
time.
It's like having
So,
a timeshare.
yeah, and just so
Seriously, it's just like having a
yeah, so
timeshare.
don't think and companies get bought and sold and change hands and things
And
happen
they
all
don't
the
have to
time.
run by the rules of the last company that you
Exactly,
working
and
with.
I will tell you right now that Microsoft is one of the biggest people out there to test a product, and if they don't like it, they drop it at its wayside,
Yep.
okay?
Yep.
So, just as quick as you get into something, it might not be the way it is that you think it is, so
Right.
it's not that I don't like change, it has nothing to do with
Oh,
that,
I
it's
love it.
just I love change,
Love the
but it
change is
needs to
good,
it
man.
needs to be fair for the consumer at
Yep.
the end of the day,
Exactly.
okay? If I go out and buy an operating system, allow me to put it on whatever I want,
Yep.
don't limit me to the specs. The only reason why, John, the only reason why they want it on 8th gens and newer and certain processors and specs and stuff is because they want to be able to limit and lock down the system, the physical computer
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Gotcha.
And they want TPM. They want to have TPM 2.0
Mhm.
built into the computer most of the time, hardware components, things like that. They want to be able to encrypt the data and stuff like
Mhm.
that. You know, at the end of the day, they want to be able to lock you down so much that when you do sign into, you know, OneDrive and everything like that, and your stuff's synced across the board and stuff, and everything's just working. They want to be able to say, "Oh, they're like Apple. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
So
I
just
don't want to
stop,
be synced.
stop." Yeah,
I like Adobe fights me all the time because they want to put everything on the cloud.
yeah.
And so does my iPhone too. I'm not gonna leave Apple out of this crap either.
No,
Every
no,
time
no.
I do a notepad something, it's like, where do you want to save this? On my freaking phone.
Right, right.
Because if I don't have any service anywhere, at least I can get to my notepads.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
stop. Let me click a box that says, "Oh, put this in the cloud."
Mhm.
Or it's like with my photos with iPhone. Maybe I don't want them going to my iCloud. Maybe I want them strictly on my iPhone.
This is funny, John. Say for instance, you get a new computer and you log in, and you did create a local account. You figured it out. You created a local account, and then you decide that you want to install Microsoft Office. Now you know that's a subscription base. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
so you go and you sign into your Office online account. And you download the package, and in order to activate it, you have to sign in. So you sign in, not knowing Microsoft, and I think Microsoft's wrong for doing it this way as well. Is they give you two options. They give you, and most people always select the wrong one. So
Mhm.
they on a local account, everything's going good. They install Office, they sign in, and then they're presented with this box. Use this account everywhere, and in small letters at the very bottom left, in Microsoft apps only.
Yep.
Now, if you choose Microsoft apps only, Microsoft will allow you to continue using your local account. Okay. And then anytime you open a Microsoft app, it'll automatically sign into the Microsoft, services that you're tied to. So
Right.
if you open up Word, Excel, things like that, OneDrive, everything's going to be tied. It's going to look for that account.
Yeah.
If you select the box that says use this account everywhere, it turns that local account into an online Microsoft account, which then ties to the password that you use for your Microsoft account or PIN number. And a lot of times people don't even know what that password is and they get locked out of their machine.
Yep.
or they're now their machine that didn't have a password to log in now has a password to log in, or they don't know what the password is because all of a sudden there's an email address and they're confused, and it just turns into a hot mess.
Yep.
There is
It's
no
stupid.
rhyme or reason,
Stupid.
and they should not. They keep them both side by side and give an explanation so end users understand the ramifications about what they're about to hit.
Yep. Exactly.
Don't play these games. They're doing it on purpose because they want everybody to go to. They want you to store all your stuff on the cloud. They want all your stuff. Okay. Remember, you download Office, you install it. You're presented with two options. You can either use this account everywhere, which turns your whole computer into a Microsoft cloud-based computer, or use it for just the local apps, Microsoft apps. Those are your two choices. Remember, one is going to be really small. If you have a problem, give us a call. We'll figure it out.
So we're going to jump onto Amazon real quick. I never knew. I guess I knew about it, but I forgot. Amazon Luna, which is their online gaming platform. You're now able to download. You can buy Ubisoft games. Like one of the things is the Assassin's Creed. I like Assassin's Creed. Of course, I can't get past the training thing. No, I'm just kidding. That's a running joke in the studio because I'm still on a Red Dead Redemption. I can't get out of the freaking training phase. It sucks. I'm still on the damn horse trying to get out. So it doesn't matter. But they're trying to make it where you can actually, if you own the game, if you bought the game, you can play it on your other cloud-based services.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. To me, if I don't like playing it on my PC.
No?
Mm-mm.
It's funny. What people don't, the Microsoft's cloud services, for instance, so you have your Microsoft account for your Xbox.
Mhm.
Okay, Xbox. Now we're talking about something different. There, I would have one because I want my games.
Right.
So they have the Game Pass where you can play all your games all you want.
Yep.
So the newer Samsung TVs that came out this year have the Xbox experience built into them back end automatically.
That's what you
And
said.
and it's got a cloud based. And I will tell you that you can sync up, and the same with the PC. You can sync up your Xbox One controller to your TV, and you can sync it to your PC as well.
So I'm thinking about getting rid of all my TVs and start slowly switching them out with Samsungs because they come with full apps. I mean, I could put my Roku on there. I put my Apple TV. I put Spectrum on there. I can put whatever I want to on there.
Yeah.
So
and it comes. Matter of fact, if you use Samsung Smart Things, the TV can also become a Smart Things hub for you if you want to. Yeah, they got a little
freaking awesome.
they got a little dongle you can plug in the side.
Little dongle.
And if
Say
you
it again.
dongle. So I'll be watching TV and then it'll pop up that my dryer just finished its cycle. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. That's a running joke in my house now. Is all my appliances talk to me, and my son goes, "Well, at least somebody's talking to you."
Yeah, right.
It's still funny. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, see, it's still funny. I don't
It's
care
so
what you
funny.
say.
So so I don't know. This game streaming is come a long way. Don't know why Amazon's. There must
Have
be
you
some.
played on the Samsung? Is it? I mean, is it pretty responsive?
I played Mortal Kombat.
No.
Yeah, I mean that's you. You got to be kind of responsive.
Yeah. Don't tell Mama this, but I'm gonna probably take all my TV. Well, anyway, I'm opening a new cafe studio up in Chattanooga anyway.
Yeah,
So I'll take all those TVs out of the house.
I got
and put
an
the Samsung in there.
85-inch Samsung for
You
$1,200.
What,
Yeah,
dude?
come on. I mean, look, think about
I
it.
know, that's
That's cheap. I mean, you couldn't back in the day.
I know.
85-inch.
shit. You're locking $5,000, $6,000.
Yeah. Well, I think they were. I saw them beforehand. They were like 13,000 when they were when they first come.
Well, when they first came out, yeah.
But still, think about it. $1,200 in only a few years.
So can you believe that MGM has not paid the hackers that broke in and stole their customer data? And this is all they're saying is, well, they just didn't get enough of information, so what's out there is not that big a deal.
Well,
I don't think that's a great thing because that means that they're going to come back after them, right?
well, they're going to go after the. See, this is what bothers me. So hackers come in, steal the data. Okay. There's a little lawsuit that happens. They have to announce that, this is what happened. This is what we did. We got our information stolen. And this is what always ends up happening. They send a letter. We're sorry. We had a data breach. blah 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 blah. We are now offering you 2 years of free
LifeLock.
LifeLock data
LifeLock.
protection. And if there's anything that comes of this, please, contact blah 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 blah. There is no they are not held
In
responsible
any
like
way,
they
shape, or
no,
form.
they are not.
Nope.
So what if they can get their, if they can get their casinos back online, that's all they want at the end of the day. They don't give a crap about you or your data or your information. And the thing is MGM and these casinos have social security numbers too. Payouts. They have to report these on 1099s to the IRS. Therefore, they not only collected your name, phone number, birth date, all that information, and your social security number because they have to go ahead and send that out.
Yeah.
Plus, they got a driver's license. So I think this is just as bad as
Well,
medical data
So they
breach.
said, guess what? This is what MGM says. On the bright side, MGM said that in its release that it does not believe the data thieves stole customers' passwords, bank account numbers, and credit card details. They think. Now they did pay 10 million to technology consulting service and legal fees to find out what's going on, and they expect to lose $100 million. All said and done,
It's a good write-up for them for this year.
it is.
That's
exactly. I really
that's-
honestly believe that's exactly what they're thinking. We'll write that off. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
You know, but I'm telling you what, right now, if you,
No, and I think there needs to be, there's got to be better protections for the consumer end, because I'm going to tell you, just because you had your data taken today does not mean that anything's going to happen today,
right.
this year, next year. It could be 5 or 6 years down the road. Hello, that information's still relevant. You are still you.
Yep.
And somebody can still steal your identity,
Yep.
whether or not in life or in death.
Yep.
So come on now. There's bigger ramifications than just
Yeah.
like, oh hum.
Yeah. Tell you what, give me $1 million. I'll change all my bank accounts and everything up, and then I'll go away.
Yeah.
If not, I'm going to call you every time I have a little blip on my credit. I'm going to check on a daily basis.
Exactly.
Hey, by the way, you owe me this. Oh, by the way, you owe me
do you
this.
remember this happening? Guess
Yeah.
what? You sent me a letter, and I'm going to be holding you responsible every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And that,
Or give me $1 million,
right?
and I'll restart everything.
Let me go away. I'll go away
forever.
I'll go-
And I'll never come to your.
John, you got a great idea. Yeah. And also, that $1 million is for me, and you have to pay lawyer fees.
That's correct. So here's something I wanted to get to. Okay, so you know how everybody is like all this. Oh, I can. Okay, so let me start over. The Grace Hopper celebration is a tech conference every year, right?
Okay.
And so this year, all these guys got together and they showed up trying to look for tech jobs. And what they said is, we coming in and we are non-binary. So in other words, all these women and all these people that are like, oh, well, you gotta let them believe what you want to be. If they want to be a turtle, let them be a turtle. Blah 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 blah. Well, so now all these guys went, okay, fine, because this is a huge tech conference for women.
Right.
This is women driven, right? So all these guys are coming in going, yeah, we're non-binary, and so we want to apply for the jobs. And it was like, what do you do? The minute you say, no, you're a man. Oh, wait a minute.
Well,
Oh, no. You opened Pandora's box.
yeah.
And guess what? And now all of a sudden men are coming in going, hey, yeah, we what do you call, it's not associate with, what's the term I'm trying to look for? Today I feel like a woman, or whatever it is, identify. So all these people are identifying as non-binary, which means you can't say no to them.
If you don't put in some kind of structure where, we can say this is black and this is white, this is red, this is blue, these are the things, this is the way we made you. I don't care, whatever it is.
Well,
At the end of the day, when you start taking away, just like if we didn't have laws, okay? You take away laws, you take away rules, what happens? People start going outside of the box, trying to work, and they've always tried to work around, even if you do have rules and things like that.
Yep.
That's why we have fireworks lighting off in Florida, even though fireworks are illegal in Florida. Yet we have,
Well, no, I'm chasing gophers.
I'm lighting off fireworks for the Boy Scouts and I'm signaling a train.
Yep.
See, there's loopholes.
Yep.
So sometimes, you just, people have good intentions, and at the end of the day, it just turns into a hot mess. It's not that nobody likes you or nobody wants to be your friend. There's just sometimes society needs to have a set of rules, guidelines, because not everybody is thinking the exact same way as you. So you may say, why me? But John Dingo over here is saying, how can I abuse this situation for my own gain?
Right.
You
Well,
know?
okay. So in 2022 and 2023, tech companies around the world laid off more than 400,000 workers.
Yeah, and that's men and women. That doesn't,
And women, and I'm not, again, women only account for a third of that, right? So it's been a heavy men layoff. So all of a sudden the men are going, hey, I got to work. How do I get in here to work? Well, you know what? They're literally they're using everybody, they're using the loopholes, saying they're non-binary, so they can't judge about whether or not I get in there, and they were overwhelmed. Overwhelmed
It
with
says the
people.
organizers expressed frustration because they
Yeah.
can't tell the guys not to come in. And
That's
this
correct.
is the same situation. Look, just open everything up for everybody. Just be it what it may, and if understand that if you're gonna leave an inclusion like that, then that understand that people are going to use it to their ability. They're going to abuse it. It's just the way
Right.
it is. It just happens. Everybody understands, and even they knew, that it's being the rules are being abused. But you know what? You put the rules there, you did it, you opened it up, and you open yourself up for the abuse.
Yep.
It's what happens,
Exactly. So we're going to jump down to this one. It's your browser doesn't belong to you.
No, it does not. It belongs to the search engine that
Correct.
either, paid money to be included into the search engine's, final results, or the search engine created the browser that created.
Right.
So think of it this way. Okay, we just talked about a search engine. Back in the day, we had Internet Explorer or
Netscape.
Netscape, yeah, thank you.
AOL.
AOL, yeah, we had. Well, AOL was kind of like, but anyways, so we had them, and then we had the search engine. We had to go to the search engine. We had to go to Google. Looked like crap.
Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves. There was another one that had a little dog on it. Gosh, I forgot what the name of that one was.
Oh yeah.
But
I do remember that
I'm
one.
trying to
Oh,
remember the name though.
what
But
was that
anyways,
one? Oh gosh.
ah,
Okay, Google
dog search engine.
web browser search engine.
No.
That was another one.
We're talking
No.
big.
Yeah, it was a big deal. Search engine that had dog logo, and you'll find it. But oh my God, yes. What was that one? But Netscape and AOL kind of became one. Dogpile.
Yeah, I remember Dogpile. So yeah, just anyways, these search engines, they started getting bigger.
Yeah.
Google decided, hey, let's use Chromium based, they had called it Chromium based
right.
web browser, and then it's open source. So we're a large corporation who took something that's free and stuck it together with our search engine and rebundled it and called it Google Chrome. Now we have a browser that's tied to a search engine, and we can know everything that you are looking for, no matter who you change your default search engine to.
Right.
So if I change my search engine to yahoo.com and want to say MSN or whatever I want to do the searching through, or Bing or anything like that, Bing is going to get the information,
It's all part of Chromium.
but Google is going to get the information as well.
Mhm.
And the same thing with the Google Android phones. Android is built off the Google. It's technically Google Chrome Android operating system. And anytime you search anything, even if you're searching for the apps in your own phone, that information is relayed back to Google, who knows what is.
Oh, hey, look, on your phone you search for this, but
Yeah,
I've got this link
yeah.
because you didn't find it.
Exactly. And now, not for nothing, but Apple's getting ready to launch their own browser. Okay, they're very late to the game, but again, Bing, Microsoft owns Bing.
Mhm.
Bing was piled up, built in a Chromium-based web browser, which we now call Edge. Google tried to create their own web browser from scratch. It didn't work very well, so they used the open source browser, tied it with Bing, packaged it all well, stuck it into Microsoft Windows, and said, "Look, this is what you got.
There you go.
You search, Bing gets results. Blah 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 blah. Here we go." So yes, at the end of the day, these guys, these large corporations, are using free tools that are out there in open source commercially to gain market share on the search engines.
So I've got a funny image I want Cage to put up. I thought this was hilarious. So it's the iPhone 15 Pro and the Pro Max.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I saw that and I'm like, oh, that's freaking awesome.
That's funny because you did that, and then you heard about that new dome theater that's out there in Los Angeles.
Yes.
And somebody said, "Come on, please,
IMAX Pro."
Yeah. Or no, they said,
Pro Max.
please, they did the Death Star on it, and they say, "This is what the people really want."
This is what they really want,
what they
yeah.
really come on, do it.
All right, so that was, we had a lot. We probably have 4 on here that we didn't get to.
Yes, so we'll have to roll them off to next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about Israel next week because one of the most technologically advanced security systems, and they just got blindsided this weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting into who's right, who's wrong. I'm just saying one of the most technology advanced systems.
And this is about the surveillance, and this is about just,
crazy
data information and data gathering.
Yep.
And how quickly it was just
exactly. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. You know what? We know you have more things to watch on Monday mornings, but today is kind of a holiday for some people. We'll see everybody next week on Tech Shamans.